Hello there guys, welcome back to Eunice Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well. Well, this is your review for the highly anticipated Chelsea versus Tottenham Hotspur at Stamford Bridge, where everything was there, all the ingredients were there, you know, ready in the making to create what I would say would be game of the season or contender for game of the season. And what happened was, it's like someone that was trying to make bread but forgot to put in the yeast. And, you know, nothing rose. It just stayed flat. And you didn't get your bread at the end of the day. That is what happened. Very, very flat, tense game of football. Very tactical in the first half. But overall, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am disappointed. And I see it as a half glass empty rather than a half glass full. I see it as 2 points dropped rather than a point gained, and that's just me being completely frank. We're going to get into the details of the game and what went down, but before I do so, quick one: if you are new, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded, and smash the like button for me. Thank you very, very much. And secondly, let's go to the lineup and what Frank Lampard decided to start this game with. Now, we started off with Edouard Mendy in goal. The back four unchanged of Reece James, Ben Chilwell, Thiago Silva and Kurt Zouma. N'Golo Kante as defensive midfielder, with Kovacic and Mason Mount as the two midfielders in front of him, and the front three of Ziyech on the right hand side, Timo Werner on the left hand side, and Tammy Abraham up front. Hudson-Odoi not on the bench for this one. Instead, the return of Havertz and Pulisic, but this time to our bench, while Giroud is our only lone striker sitting on the bench. Now, there's a little question mark as to Hudson-Odoi, but I think I can answer that one. Pulisic was available. Simple as that. Pulisic hasn't been available for a while. He's a natural winger. You know, if there's one man you're going to use in a game like this, you're going to use Pulisic, especially if he's fit. Hudson-Odoi, though, him not being on the bench, maybe it's just because of numbers. You know, you can only select a certain number of subs. I'm assuming that is the reason. I think it is. I know in some other competitions it's not. You can, you know, pack your bench out, but in the Premier League, I think it's limited. So Pulisic is our winger that's on the bench, and Hudson-Odoi had to be omitted from the squad. Now, in terms of this lineup, I guess, understand as to why Frank Lampard went with it. It's consistency. It's, you know, going with what we've used for quite a few games now, in the absence of Havertz and in the absence of Pulisic. Personally, just me being me, as I told you in my preview, I wouldn't have gone that way. I felt that this was a game where if both players are fit, they both have a role in this team, we are going to be implementing them as one of our main players, whether it's Pulisic or Havertz. You know, in my case, I think both. So I don't see a reason why both of them shouldn't start. Now, unless if it's just fitness and they're not ready to play 90, okay. I'm not one to say if that's the case or not. Only Frank Lampard and his medical team will know that. However, there are things in this game where I do want to say, Frank Lampard, why? Why? I don't understand. The whole substitution saga that we had today was one thing for me. Because we started off this game, and it was very tense, you know. Both teams being very cautious, very tactical. The way Jose set Tottenham up, as predicted yesterday, I did say I would suspect Spurs will have to sit back at times, but they are not going to play as their main tactic or their main methodology in this game of just sitting back and waiting. That's not what Spurs were going to do all game. They did it for big portions of the game, but they did press on occasions. They did try to take the game to us on occasions, but you could see that they were happy to sit back and contain, but when needed, press up and try and apply some pressure and try and cause some mistakes. That way, you know, they can get the ball, retrieve it, and try and nick a goal. You could see Spurs were trying to do that, and I think in the first half, we contained that quite well. When we had to go deep, when we had to sit back a little bit, we contained quite well. There were chances, I would say, more for Spurs in the first half compared to us. I think we only had 2 shots on target. But we didn't do much, but neither did Spurs. So, you know, it was very even, but very flat at the same time. It was like two heavyweight boxers of the highest caliber just looking at each other and going... and just judging, you know, that was the whole thing. The second half, though, I felt was a big opportunity for us to take this game and score and win. And we tactically just didn't do that. I think there were occasions there where Frank Lampard had the opportunity to change the game in the right direction. I felt, personally, my opinion, the lineup that I said yesterday to start with would have been the lineup that we should have applied from the 60th minute. Or, because I didn't mention Giroud yesterday, because there's two ways. I did say Werner down the middle, Pulisic on the left, Ziyech on the right, Havertz in central midfield in front of N'Golo Kante. Now, for today, whether that would have been for Mount or Kovacic to one of them come off, I regardless. Personally, I think both played decent. So I'm not going to say one should have been taken off or the other. I think Havertz needs to come on. One of them has to come off. But Havertz to be in there, Ziyech on his right-hand side. He didn't have the best game, but I want to put it out there. He was being heavily marked. And the pressure from Reece James that he was applying kind of helped liberate Ziyech from time to time and give him a bit of room and space in order to cross the ball in with his left foot. Now, every time he did that, some crosses made it, some crosses didn't. That's just the way it was. And, some are going to say Ziyech had a bad game because of that. No, we didn't have any front men in the flipping box to take advantage of any of the crosses. The way that Jose had Spurs set up was a lot of men applied in the box, pack out the box, He knew that the threat was going to come from Ziyech, so try and pack the box out with many Spurs players as possible in order to prevent a threat on goal. That's logical, so fair play. But that doesn't mean Ziyech had a horrific game. He made a couple of mistakes, but that doesn't mean he had a bad game. He was locked out of the game. Not much he can really do. But for him, this is where my little saga with Frank Lampard comes in. Because, so minute 74, we had Timo Werner come off for Christian Pulisic. Now, if this was the case, then I'd say, okay, bring Giroud on at that time as well. Because if you're taking Werner off, that means Werner's not going to be playing down the middle. For me, Tammy Abraham, bit of a poor game. He missed 3 occasions that he should have been burying, especially the last one. The other 2, okay, headers in the air, it can happen. The third one, that was on a plate, right? Giroud has, as I said, if we're not going to be playing Werner down the middle, Giroud down the middle would have been the logical option. So if Pulisic is coming on for Timo Werner, so Pulisic can go on the left, well, bring on Giroud immediately as well. And also, why wait till minute 74? This was an occasion where at minute 60, you could see where the game was going and where we had to exploit. Personally, why I said we needed to go to the team that I predicted yesterday in my preview, where I would have put Werner down the middle, Pulisic on the left, Ziyech on the right, Havertz in behind, was because, if you had noticed, there was a massive hole in central midfield today when we were attacking. So in front of N'Golo Kante, massive hole. And you only saw Kovacic get the ball from deep and run into that hole. The amount of times he tried to drive with the ball, and more times than not, he was successful with his run, but then unsuccessful with his pass to whoever it was, or the person that retrieved the ball ended up losing possession. But there was a massive hole in midfield, and I'm just like, we have the chance to exploit Spurs here down the middle. There's a massive hole of space. Why are we not using it? It's just sideways onto the wing. We're locked out of the game. Come back sideways onto the other wing. And it's just that. It was too predictable and we were slow. We weren't quick enough. For me, I don't think there was enough urgency, From times there were moments where there were. But overall, we looked a bit too slow. Well, of course, flipping Mourinho, who likes to have his teams just sit back and wait. We got all day. It's no problem. You have to be quick. You can't be slow. You have to be quick and try and catch them out. And we've been doing that in previous games. This is why I'm a little bit disappointed, because we've done it. We've been through low block defenses and we've gotten through and scored goals. And today we had the opportunity, especially down that middle, and we done nothing about it. We done nothing about it until minute 79. Minute 79, we saw Olivier Giroud come on, Tammy Abraham come off. Correct sub. Too late, in my opinion, but correct sub. Cool. 79, that means 10 minutes for Olivier Giroud. But then what baffles me is straight after that, he brings off Ziyech. He brings off Ziyech to put Havertz on the wing, where Havertz should be in the middle, exploiting that massive hole of space that we needed someone technical to go in and try and cause a bit of mayhem. We didn't do that. For me, that's where the game was lost. That's where we didn't take advantage. When I say lost, I don't mean lose the game. We didn't lose the game. But where the game was lost in terms of us taking the advantage that was there on a plate that Tottenham were not looking after. And we just didn't do it. And that's what really grinds my gears today, because we had the opportunity to take this game and win. We had it. It was there. We just didn't take advantage of it. For me, if we were going to go with Giroud down the middle, it needed to happen earlier. Or Werner down the middle, Pulisic on the left-hand side, Ziyech on the right-hand side, and go about that way. We didn't even give that a chance, you know? And if you're bringing Giroud on, who you know is good in the air and is able to take advantage, then why take Ziyech off that you know is going to ping ball into the box? It just doesn't make sense. For me personally, it doesn't make sense. So that's why I'm not happy. I'm disappointed today. I'm very disappointed today. We had a chance to go top of the table. You know, and I understand that, you know, not all's lost. We don't need to be in a panic. There's no panic. It's just, you know, I don't like to lose points that I knew were there for the taking. Like, we had it there. Why didn't we use it? You know, if we try everything and the game just doesn't go in our favour, okay, cool. It's football. It happens. But when it's there, that's what I hate personally. Some other people are the opposite. Some other people are like, no, you know, I hate when I give everything and then I lose. No, if you give everything and you lose, sometimes that happens. That's part of sport and that's part of life. So that's just the way that I see it. Especially the way that Spurs were in the second half. We were on top of them. It wasn't like the first half where you could say Tottenham were being more cautious but at the same time getting more chances. In the second half, that was our half. And it was Spurs that took away the point, and now it's Spurs that are top of the table. They'll happily take a 0-0. We need to understand this. In the second half, Jose and Spurs would have been happy to take a 0-0, and right now I bet they are like, yeah, you know what? It's not the end of the world. It's a point. We're top of the league. It's cool. What about us? We're in third, 2 points behind. That's my point. Now, it's not the end of the world, as I've said. You know, this December is packed out. December that is about to begin. We have game after game after game after game after game. 8 matches in total. So it needs to be managed correctly. But yeah, it's just a shame that, especially against Spurs, in a game that at the end of the day was not pleasing to the eye. But yeah, we should have taken 3 points and we didn't. That's just the way that I see it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with the points that I've made? Disagree? Let me know. I'd love to hear your opinions in the comments. Thank you all so much. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button for me as it helps me out a lot. Thank you all so much. And I'll see all of you tomorrow for a brand new video. Thank you all so much. Have a good one. Look after yourselves. Take care and peace.